Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watchman Podcast, your go-to source for everything related to safety and community at Rollins Middle School of Arts. And I am your host, Deputy Slusher. And I am here to shine a spotlight on the vibrant art showcases, thrilling sporting events, captivating performances of our amazing school and students. So join us as we celebrate creativity, foster connections, and build a stronger community together. Whether you're a student, parent, or passionate supporter of the arts, there is something here for everyone. So let's dive in and explore the heartbeat of Rollins Middle School. This is what excellence sounds like. Right here at Rollins Middle School of the Arts, where the standard isn't just taught, it's lived. Picture this. A group of students walk into a room. They're handed a piece of music they've never seen before. 7 minutes. No help, no shortcuts. And then they perform it together in harmony at a level that earns superior with distinction. The highest honor you can receive. That's not talent alone. That's preparation. That's discipline. That's a culture of excellence. And it shows. First place at the Music USA National Competition at Universal Studios. Year after year, one of the highest numbers of students selected to All-State Chorus. Performances that have taken students from the classroom to some of the biggest stages in the country. But this episode goes deeper. Behind every note, behind every performance, behind every student, stepping into confidence is a leader that demands more and inspires even more. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. What does it really take to build a program like this? How do you create a standard that students rise to again and again? And what happens when young people are challenged to be great and actually believe they can? This isn't just about music. This is about mentorship. This is about discipline. This is about investing in our youth and watching themselves rise. Let's dive in. Jamie, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you so much for being here today on the Watchman Podcast. And one of the reasons I asked if you would be on the show is one of the things about the podcast is promoting our youth. And it's not just about our youth, it's about the talent that's teaching our youth. And I walk through the halls every day and I hear band, I hear strings, I hear vocals, and it's just incredible. But one of the things that I want to talk about today is highlighting you, because it's not about just our youth, it's about the talent that's teaching our youth here at Rollins Middle School of Arts. But I want to go back to your choirs have constantly earned superior ratings at choral performance assessment, solo and ensemble, festivals, etc. That's what I want to touch on today. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of it all, I want to go back to where it began with you.
Okay.
When did music first become more than just something you enjoyed?
Well, thank you for having me. I believe, I've always loved music as long as I can think back, but I guess that pivotal moment for me was the year I started taking piano lessons.
Okay.
And back up a little bit before that, my mom made me be a member of some sports teams. That was not my forte. Shock.
What was the sporting events?
The first one was T-ball.
Oh, I played T-ball.
And then I moved up with the big dogs to baseball, and
All right.
that didn't go very well. So right after that, I begged Mom to put me in piano lessons. And I had been asking my mom for a while before that. And she said, let's just wait, because she wanted me to wait till I was 7 or 8. I can't remember what, but she had her reasons. So don't go against what Mama says.
Right.
And baseball didn't really work out for me. So I started piano lessons, and that teacher just shaped me into what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. and the rest was smooth sailing.
What age was that you started piano?
7 or 8.
7.
Yeah.
Back then, did they have piano lessons in elementary school or middle school, or?
No, we did not have any of the resources that we do here. Like when we performed at school, we had a cafetorium or a gymnatorium.
Okay.
We had to set up folding chairs for every show, so on and so forth. So being at this school, it's like, wow, wish
Yeah,
I'd had these resources.
This is a different place.
Yeah.
Who were the key people that shaped your journey early on?
There have been a lot, but like one I just mentioned, my first piano teacher, she was just remarkable, and we stayed in touch till the day she died. And my mom, she's my mentor. So she's everything to me, and she's my best friend, and she's my biggest fan. So I'm 41 years old. I still go to my mama for advice and for guidance. I have no shame. Unapologetically a mama's boy, always will be.
That's awesome.
But she still encourages me, and she's a woman of faith, and she just, I think the best way to describe her would be her little quote. She just always says, "Give it to God."
Give it to God.
Yeah.
Amen to that. When did it click that this was bigger than music, that it was about impacting lives?
So I never really even thought about going into education. Even when I graduated college, I had the education degree, but I wanted to go on to get a degree in piano performance. And I was going up north to take lessons here and there at Juilliard and Manhattan School of Music. But then a friend of mine just said, "Hey, there's a job opening here at a local middle school." And I interviewed for it, and I got the job, and there was no looking back, and I've loved it ever since.
So you mentioned the Juilliard and the Manhattan School of Music.
Yeah.
Those are some pretty exceptional places. Can you touch on them a little bit?
Yeah.
On the experiences through those schools and what it brings here to, to Rawlings?
So I guess my experience was a little different because I wasn't a conventional student. You could just go, anyone can go and just pay for private lessons here and there at the schools from a professor of their choice. So that's what I did. And their approach to anything pedagogical is a lot more stringent, for lack of a better term, than we have here at the middle school level. It's just no nonsense, no cutting up. You eat, sleep, and you breathe, whatever instrument it is there. You practice 6 to 8 hours a day. That's what I used to do throughout college and in high school. And it's your life.
Your day was revolved around music.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was
Take a snack here, eat a lunch break here, or have a lunch break here, and then back to music.
Exactly. And you never knew when you were being spied on behind closed doors in a practice room. There could be, like in governor's school, for example, when I went there, that teacher or professor or whatever would secretly monitor through the halls to listen for people practicing to make sure you're practicing right, because anybody can go into a practice room, but what matters is if you're doing it correctly.
Right. So how was that when you realized somebody was secretly spying on you when you were practicing your music, your pieces? Is that something that they showcase? Like, hey guys, that we may be behind the scenes here listening to you without you knowing. How was that impact, knowing? I guess what I'm trying to say is, discipline-wise, even though you knew you were by yourself in a room practicing whatever piece of music you were trying to learn, not knowing somebody was behind the curtain listening to you to grade you on how you were doing. What impact did that have on you?
I guess going on stage, it made me view that element, or made me view it in a way that I'm not going to do anything differently on stage than what I did in the practice room. I'm going to be consistent. And I think it kind of taught me to value consistency, because it's easy to fall short, but maintaining consistency, to me, that's the most difficult part.
Is that something that you try to do here at Rollins with the students?
I do, yeah. Middle schoolers especially need some structure. So my experience is if you fall short a little bit, they're going to do the same.
Right.
And especially when you have 40 middle schoolers in the same room,
I get it.
I love them.
You've taught in multiple places.
Mhm.
How did each shape your approach?
It's interesting to go to a different school and teach and see the different needs of different walks of life, different demographics, however you want to look at it. I think all in all, it taught me to not appreciate, but view the fact that pain is pain,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know what a child is going through. Susie might be watching parents go through a nasty divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Little Johnny over here might be homeless
Mm-hmm.
for a minute, but still two totally different levels
Mm-hmm.
of situationships, but it's pain,
Right.
and pain is pain. And I think that those types of scenarios gave me a sense of appreciation and empathy and a way to be reasonable with my thinking.
Right. You know, and one thing with me is engagement is also the cornerstone of our collective success. And our youth, their voice matters. And unfortunately, sometimes, not sometimes, but our youth are a victim of their own circumstances, or other circumstances. But it's letting our youth know that their voice matters and that there are people here for them when they may be that homeless situation or a family at home that's having domestic issues. I encourage that every child's voice matters. And here at Rollins Middle School, there's buy-in. Administrators, teachers like yourself, our youth know that. And I think that, not saying other schools don't have that same connection, but it's seen here. And the buy-in here and the engagement with our youth is just incredible. I've never seen it anywhere else, and it's incredible. What challenges did you face early in your career?
I remember my first year of teaching, and it was a school with students who were going through a ton of situations at home.
Mm-hmm.
And several teachers told me from day one, you need to be mean. And me being a 22-year-old, I took it literally at the time. And that was the biggest mistake that I think I've made in 18
Mm-hmm.
years of education.
Right.
Because a lot of those students had enough of that type of behavior at home,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't need to come to a safe place and hear that.
Right.
In those other adults' defense, I think what they were trying to say, and I wish they had, was be strict.
Mm-hmm.
But me, I took it literally and
Be firm and fair.
yeah, firm, fair, consistent.
Right.
Follow the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you develop your standard of excellence?
I think it goes back to those two people we talked about earlier, my first piano teacher and my mom. They were big on tough love.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my mom, she, when I was younger and the recitals, performances, whatever, she would compliment me, but it
Right.
wasn't like this, like, my baby, whatever. And her reasoning behind it was, you get enough compliments from other people.
Right.
I'm going to be firm and I'm going to be fair and tell you good job, but I'm not going to like boast and brag about you.
Right.
You've got enough
Right.
of that coming
Right.
from the
Right.
outside.
Right. Let's move now to the CPA
Okay.
and at Rollins. Can you break down CPA and what it takes to earn Superior with Distinction?
Sure. So CPA stands for Choral Performance Assessment, and it's an event where choirs come from all over the state, and they sing 2 selections for a panel of 3 judges who are usually collegiate level professor or music educators, choral professors, have you. And we do 2 selections in the pack, and then we transition to the black box in here, and we do the sight reading component. And the sight reading accounts for 20% of their final score. And what sight reading is, it's in this sense, well, sight reading is when somebody gets a piece of music they've never seen before and they have to learn it. So the tricky part about CPA on the choral part is that the students are not allowed to have help from me, and they have 8 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes to learn the sight reading piece without my help. They're given a piece of music and it's like, here, go, learn it on your own.
And that 7 minutes, you just touched on the sight reading portion, 7 minutes with no help. That's a big part of their grade, correct, for the Superior with Distinction?
Yes.
So that's like the majority of them getting that distinction is learning that piece of music in 7 minutes and then going out and be able to perform it.
Correct.
What's some of the challenges that, or some of the feedback that your students give you about when they go to CPA and they're given this sheet music and you got 7 minutes to learn it? Like, what's some of the feedback that you get from the students?
Not to toot my own horn, but they tell me a lot of times they will say they felt overly prepared for it and they found this to be a lot less challenging than what I've given them in class. So to my ears, that makes me feel good.
Well, so clearly that tells our listeners that your students have buy-in.
Yeah.
And to have buy-in, there's trust. That's awesome. What does the reveal about your students? What does that reveal about your students in your program?
So I think that choral music, honestly, there's a sense of teamwork that goes into it, and the sight reading component is just an example of that. And like you said, they have a buy-in to it, and from day one, they know the wall in the room and they go with it. And I try to teach them to be so independent in a sense that, hey, if your neighbor's having trouble beside you in this little segment, it's okay to say, hey, this is wrong. I mean, don't word it like that. It's all about delivery.
Right.
But then that builds trust in each other. And I try to tell them, when you go into this, try to be able to do it without me being necessary in the room.
Right.
Like, if I had to step out of the room, you would continue just fine. And so that type of approach at this school has worked very well.
Well, it shows. I mean, I've seen many, many performances on stage at the PAC. I walk down the halls and I hear it. I mean, sometimes, I'm going to say this to the world now. I'll stand in the hallway and listen at y'all. It's great. It's soothing at times. Talk about middle school all-state chorus having the highest number all the time.
Well, we're one of the highest. There's another school nearby that has more than us, but we're not far behind them.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah,
but
100%. There's no doubt that we will not get there.
Exactly. But what was the question?
Just talk about what all-state, the courses for the all-state course. That's where you perform at Universal, correct?
No, that's something totally different.
Okay.
So all-state, they auditioned back in September or October. We have to submit recordings, and it's a short little snippet of a song, and obviously kids audition throughout the whole state, and they wait to hear back, and if they're selected, they go usually in January to a college in the state, and they have guest clinicians or conductors that teach them the repertoire over the course of 2 or 3 days, and they give a performance on Saturday.
Wow. So I got ahead of myself with the Universal. talk about winning at Universal Studios, and what does that moment mean for you and your students?
Well, in the moment when we got the trophy, everybody was so tired. It was just like,
I'm
yay,
sure.
can we go back to the room and go back to the hotel, everybody take a cat nap?
Right.
But the aftermath of it, they were very proud of themselves. And one thing that I overheard some of the students saying was, we could have done better. And to me personally, that's music to my ears, because they're not going to settle for what
Right.
they just did, because I try to tell them that builds complacency, and we're not doing that if you just
Correct.
settle.
Correct.
You know what you could have done better. And I think that's a valuable life tool to be able to use.
Performing at Carnegie Hall, Disney and beyond, what impact does that have on our students?
Oh, they carry those memories for so many years. I think I did Carnegie 10 years ago, and I still have former students reaching out about that trip. But I mean, it's one of the world's top stages.
Yes, it is.
And them having that opportunity to be there is like really once in a lifetime.
Well,
kind of
when I
thing.
heard that and saw that about Carnegie Hall, I was wowed, like, because I did not know that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a wow. Like, wow. Not very many schools, not very many students, I would assume, don't get that opportunity.
Right.
It's almost like the Rose Bowl parade, getting asked to come march in the Rose Bowl parade, or what is it? What's that other parade in New York? New Year's
Macy's.
the
Yeah.
Macy's Day Parade. That's quite an honor to do that. But I want to touch on something. Speaking of Carnegie Hall, Disney, and beyond, and there was a performance. I don't want to say, maybe a performance isn't the right word, but there was something that was extremely touching to myself and very touching to others. In December, I had Mr. Joe Pye on as the podcast, and to hear his story and the legacy and what he just did with our district. And I know you were asked to do something at his memorial service, and that was perform with students from Rawlings Middle School at his memorial service. And I have got to tell you, sitting in that church, listening at those students perform that song was incredible. To sit there, and if I didn't know the backstory, and those were students from Rawlings Middle School, present and past, I would have argued against somebody saying there's no way those were middle school students. Unbelievable. Talk to me, or tell the people that's listening, what did it mean to you to stand up there at Mr. Pye's memorial service with your students from this school, past and present? What was the emotion? Because I'm here to tell you, you could have heard a pin drop sitting out there listening to y'all. How did those students feel to be asked from a man like Mr. Joe Pye to sing at his memorial service?
I think most, if not all, I think they saw it as a huge honor. And when we were asked to do it, Mr. Patrick Pye, our principal at Rawlings, asked me if I'd be willing to get a group together. And I'm thinking, yeah, but in true Pye fashion, I felt it necessary to go big or go home.
Right.
So I asked him, would it be okay if I got some Rawlings alumni that are at the high school level that I taught, to get them to join us? Because I think that representation is powerful, because it doesn't just stop 6th through 8th grade, it continued onward. And he was totally game, and somehow we put it together. and they had the tools or the chops to
Mhm.
deliver
Mhm.
vocally what they were doing. The toughest part was the organizational aspect
Right,
of
I'm
it.
sure, right.
Like, I don't even, all the emails I sent that day, and we had 5 or 6 days to put everything together, and it just, they wanted to do it, and they wanted to honor that man who was the reason they have what they
Right,
have
right.
here.
Incredible.
Thank you.
I mean, it was, I talk about it. People ask me, like, those are students from Rollins. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I mean, it was extremely, but it goes just you can clearly see, and one of the things Mr. Pye talked about is being a cheerleader,
Mhm.
and people have to have buy-in. And that moment at that time, those students had buy-in. Whether they were representing a man as Mr. Pye that day, or just the buy-in of your leadership, those students was dialed in. And I'll say it again. If I wasn't in that moment and just heard those students, I would have never thought that they were Rawlings Middle School of Art students.
Well, the behind the scenes was kind of interesting too, because they got a very firm pep talk prior to walking out on the stage or the altar, whatever, at the church. And the pep talk I gave was, you watch me, you look at nobody else, because people are going to be out there crying.
Right.
And I don't know everybody's
Mhm.
story as to what's going on in the moment, and it could be a trigger for one of them.
Correct.
And I just told them, you've got to watch me. Do not let your eyes wander. And they listened.
Well, they watched you, because I'm here to tell you there wasn't a dry eye. I mean, it was incredible.
It was one of my proudest moments in 18 years.
It should be. I mean, I shouldn't say it should be, but that was something that was very, very impactful. Not only to the people there, but to the family, to Patrick, to Tammy, to Pat. That was impactful.
Thank you.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Why do so many of your students make All-State?
They've got a good teacher.
100%, 100%.
Nah.
So we'll move on.
Kidding. Nah, I think I do give them the tools to do it correctly. I mean, I can't demonstrate for them. I haven't been able to really sing in over 10 years because I overused my voice
Right.
back then and whatever. But I can talk them through it. And I feel like one of my strengths is that I'm able to individually pick out what each voice needs to do to excel, get better, improve, whatever. And I use that to my advantage, but like we keep going back to, they've got the buy-in.
Right. How do you build confidence in the students who doubt themselves?
I always go back to a quote that my grandmother used to say, I'm not above anybody, but I'm definitely not below. And from day one, even meet the teacher parent night in August, when I meet the kids, I'll say in front of their parents, I mean, we're together every day for 3 years from here on out. This is your safe space. If there's a situation, issue, you can communicate with me. You don't have to go into detail. However, we see things out of context at times. So if you don't communicate with me, and here you are having a moment in class, it could come across as though, hey, I'm just being defiant, so on and so forth. And so that open door to communication and trust is something I try to instill from day one.
Share a moment where you saw a student truly transform.
Oh,
I am sure that there is, I shouldn't say just a student, because I am sure there is a notebook of where your students have just excelled and transformed in something, you know.
I think, well, I know Raekwon. I taught Raekwon back in Anderson when I taught upstate, and I taught him 6th through, gosh, I guess 12th grade. Yeah, I'd had him for 6 years. And he then went on to Fordham University, got a degree in theater, and he was a recipient of a Denzel Washington scholarship, and they only
Wow.
award like 2 or 3. And he got to meet Denzel. He got to sing for Denzel one-on-one, and he's got a video posted on social media of it. And
That's
then,
awesome.
yeah, and then he moved on to Yale.
Wow.
So he's at Yale right now in their theater program. And he did not get in the first time he auditioned.
Mhm.
He may have auditioned twice. I don't know, but he kept trying and he got it.
Wow.
And to get into Yale, like the acceptance rate, I think it's like 6%. He's just a special guy, and he always, every year at Teacher Appreciation Month
Mhm.
or week day, whatever, he'll send me a message thanking me, and he
That's
always
great.
says, "You're the one that got me started." And
That's awesome.
everything goes back to, I call
Right.
him Ray Ray. I love that boy. Well, I
Right.
guess he's a young man now,
Yeah.
but
What does being recognized as Teacher of the Year mean to you?
it's nice to be recognized for doing just what I view as the right thing to do day in and day out. Like, I don't think I'm above anybody. I don't think I'm below. I just come in and I try and do the right thing. And there's so many teachers in this building that deserve that award, but
Mhm.
they can only give it to one a year. But
Right.
um, yeah, and it's nice to be voted by your colleagues
Correct.
for it as
Correct.
well.
Correct. What keeps you pushing the standard year after year?
Get bored if you don't.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And then that just, there's a ripple effect or a domino effect. If you back off or slack off a little bit, then this happens. It leads to problems. Then on my end, like classroom management issues happen.
Right.
And then you have to be what some would say mean, strict.
Right.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah,
It can be.
like it's exhausting to feel that way.
I don't know, but unfortunately, there are people out there that choose to be mean
Right.
on a daily basis, and I don't have the energy.
Same.
I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah.
How do you balance excellence with mentorship?
I feel that if you want excellence from your students and you give them the tools, then the mentorship just falls naturally in place. That's been my experience.
What kind of legacy are you building?
I want them to leave here and think back on what a great experience they had.
Mhm.
I try to tell them from day one, do not take this place for granted. And you are so fortunate to be
Right.
here. You could be at another middle school. Don't take that for granted. Just walk with compassion and walk with empathy. Be reasonable. Be a good person.
Right.
And the rest falls into place.
100%. One last thing.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to future educators?
I would say go in and observe some classrooms. It could be former teachers. It could be current teachers. It could be people you don't know. But go in, volunteer, and know that on your first year, on day one, your goal should be to go in and get your feet wet. You're not going to change the world. It's a process, not to change the world, but the whole teaching element is a process to get the results you want. Looking back from my first year of teaching, I wanted to go from point A all the way through the alphabet to get to Z. I didn't take into account that I need to get from the letter B through the letter Y in order to get to Z. It's just, and that was a time when that show Glee started. and they showed them seeing whatever they were working on. By the end of the show, the product was there. It didn't show them rehearsing or whatever. And it just created this illusion that, oh, all I've got to get up there to do is sing karaoke and it'll be beautiful.
Right.
And that's not the case.
Jamie, thank you for taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you for having me.
For being here on the podcast. It's exciting to talk to you. Thank you again.
Of course. Thank you.
What you just heard, that wasn't just music. That was discipline in action. That was preparation meeting opportunity. That was what happens when young people are held to a higher standard and rise to meet it. At Rawlings Middle School of the Arts, this isn't just about singing the right notes. It's about building confidence. It's about developing leaders. It's about showing students what they're truly capable of when someone believes in them and refuses to let them settle. From 7 minutes of sight reading under pressure, to superior with distinction, to first place finishes on national stages. That's not luck. That's culture. That's commitment. That's leadership leaving a legacy. And that's what investing in our youth looks like. Because when we raise the standard, they rise with it. This is why we do this. This is why these conversations matter. This is the Watchman Podcast. Real voices, real service, real impact. So until next time, take care.